What's going on, people? What's really good? It's your boy Marv, and this is the Nerds in the Hood. All-Star Edition, Superstar Edition, whatever you want to call it. Nah, I'm playing. Anyway, folks, it has been a week, right? A good week. I should have been one of the first people to review it. I should have been maybe reviewing it after the first day, maybe after the first weekend, but no. I decided to give it a good 7 days since this movie came out, and I want to talk about it. I'm not even really going to do much of a review. I just want to give my opinion. And you already know what movie I'm talking about. You can tell, dressed head to toe, right? Which is the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Now, this movie, compared to the last one, had a lot of people divided online. You already know online, it's always going to be divided. There's not going to be a strong consensus of people agreeing to one thing. There's always going to be a divided group of people agreeing to disagree, right? And they're going to say mean things and all types of stuff. Your opinion's not going to matter, whatever. But the internet went crazy when this one came out compared to the first one. Now, the reason I want to review it per se is because you already seen all the reviews. So you're not really coming here for a review. You're more coming here for what I would call just my thoughts, right? Just to, you want a round table, chop it up with somebody. I'm your guy. You can hit me up in the comments. You can hit us up on social media, Nerds in the Hood, all social media. You can use the link tree in the description below. But you can see everything I have to talk about with this movie in this video. Now, I, for one, am going to say that I genuinely thought this film was fun. I didn't have a real strong distaste for the film, and I didn't have a thought process where I felt like, is this worth it? I kind of just had more of a situation where I was like, I could vibe with this film. I could bang with this film. But what people also have to realize that saw this film, even if you didn't see it and you just went online and just read comments or saw spoilers, is that this film gave a lot of people hope for different reasons, right? They gave us hope that a Super Smash Brothers movie was like really on the horizon in like a short amount of time for some weird reason. They gave us hope that maybe there is a new Smash Brothers game coming out, which was also a bit of a stretch. They gave us hope that maybe a wide array of film projects, whether it be TV shows or movies or both, could happen with various different characters from Nintendo's history. All of those things could be true, but the problem is because of that hope, a lot of people went into this kind of feeling let down because that's not what they got. A lot of people didn't like the story. And that also, okay, that's a fair thing to argue, right? Because when you come to movies, you come to see a good story, even if it's a kid's movie. But the story, yes, it did leave a lot to be like, what? For example, before I continue, spoilers ahead. If you didn't see this movie by now, sorry, man, I gave you a whole 7 days. So one of the things that got me was that in the movie, Princess Rosalina and Princess Peach are actual sisters, which there is no such evidence in the game that they are. If there is, please write me in the comments. I will gladly apologize. But from what I've looked up as much as I could look up, Princess Rosalina and Princess Peach are not sisters. They're just two different princesses in two different parts of the galaxy or whatever you want to say. So for them to be sisters in this movie, that was kind of an interesting take. Where does that leave Daisy when they announced her in the post-credit scene? We'll have to figure that out. Where does that leave Paulina, maybe? Even though she's the mayor in this movie universe, we'll have to figure that out too. But that was just one of the few things that kind of upset me. People were kind of not feeling the fact that Bowser was like this lovable goofball compared to the first movie, and that he was switching sides too quick. He was code switching too quick. But let's be real. If you played the Mario games, you know that Bowser does that a lot. He does that quite a few times within the last 10, 20 years. He's been on Mario's side, and they've been cool. And he would still talk trash to Mario while being his ally. So that's not a big deal. I'm not really mad at that. So that's what I'm saying. I'm using this video to just speak my mind on the fact that the movie wasn't as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be. Yes, I will always sit there and go, why did they make Rosalina and Peach sisters? But that's not something I'm going to really hold the movie down on. I'm not going to sit here and say, this is why the movie wasn't good, right? I'm just going to say that despite some of the things that were like, I don't remember that ever happening in any Mario game, we also got to remember this is the movie's telling of Mario. There really isn't any strong continuity in Mario's storied universe, right? And Mario doesn't really have the strongest of storylines. We know that. We've seen it. Every Mario game tells a different story where Bowser's doing something crazy or somebody other than Bowser is doing something crazy. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that they made a random movie up just by getting a writing team together and writing something. And Miyamoto gave his thumbs up for approval. It wasn't like he sat there and was like, just give me the bag and I'll shut up. No, he really read the script and looked at it and said, I can see this. And he was cool with it. And that's what we want. We want the creator of the projects to sit there and go, yes or no, right? We don't want them to just be like, yeah, give me the bag. So I'm okay with that. Was it wacky? Sometimes was it out of control? Yes. Did it feel rushed? Yes, people, they only had 90 minutes. Most kids' movies do. So it wasn't as if like, if you went in there expecting Mario to be like, I don't know, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, let's say that. That's on you, right? But most kids' movies are just that. The story's not going to be that difficult because it's for kids. And that's not a knock to kids. It's just to say that they don't need a movie like, a Oppenheimer or a Sinners or a One Battle After Another. They don't need a movie with that kind of story and dialogue and drama. They just need a wacky adventure where craziness happens and animation is popping through the screen and they're just sitting there going, ha, 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 ha. Now, for the adults in the room, they had something for y'all because they know that majority of the adults in the room have played a Mario game before in its entirety or far enough that they enjoyed it. Whether it be Mario's solo adventures, Mario RPG adventures, Mario's off adventures like sports or kart racing or Mario Party, they know that you played at least one of those games and they was visually represented in the film. We got Easter eggs of Mario Kart. We got Easter eggs of Mario Paint. We got Easter eggs of Mario Maker. We got different things that allowed us to sit there and go, oh, I remember that. Oh, wow, that's funny. That's cool how they did it. And that's okay, right? So it's fine that the story wasn't what we wanted it to be. The first movie story wasn't that much better. It just was good enough to get by, right? But where the movie shined in the first one is the same way where the movie shined in the second one, which was just Easter eggs, paying tribute, and a love letter to a game franchise that we've grown to love for the past 40 years. That's what it was. When the movie first started, they even show you, they do the theme to the end of every board. And then at the end, they do a one-up. And then they show Nintendo 40th, right? Mario's 40th anniversary. So you should already known, if you're an adult, you already know what type of time this movie was going to be on. It was going to just be a love letter to Mario, but it wasn't just a love letter to Mario. It was a love letter to Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario. How do I know? I'll tell you. Because the movie focused on a lot of what Mario was because it was a Mario movie. But they went out of their way to give us a cameo of Donkey Kong, which compared to the first movie, he had no screen time. He just did like a quick cameo. This movie was not about him, right? And then we got a guest appearance from Fox McCloud, who is also a creation of Shigeru Miyamoto. And then we also got a small cameo from the Pikmin, which is also Miyamoto creation, right? So this wasn't just about Mario. This was about celebrating Miyamoto and what he's done in the 40 years too. So they found a way to put all of that into one movie, and it was fine. Did we get any Zelda mentions? No, because Zelda got his own thing coming out, so it'll be fine when that comes out. But we got what we needed from Mario. And the other Easter eggs and cameos were cool, right? We got Game & Watch, we got Rob, we got a small little Mac cameo. Some people are saying they saw Samus's ship, which it kind of looks like it, so I'm willing to go with that too. You know what I mean? We got Daisy. So we got other people which gave us that hope of a Smash Brothers universe, and I can understand that, but we're not getting that. Miyamoto has already said the chances of that happening is highly unlikely. So it's never say never, but at the same time, it's like, it's probably not happening. And that's okay. We could probably get an anime. I've heard rumors of a Smash Brothers anime coming, but it doesn't matter. What matters right now is Nintendo just showed, and Illumination just showed, that not only can a Mario Brothers movie franchise work as an animated, not as a live action, we've already crossed that road. As an animated franchise, it can work, and they will probably have a third movie on the way. But it also showed that at the same time, we can open the door to other universes. How Fox McCloud got to the Mario Brothers universe, he explains in the movie that he went through like a warp hole, which actually also happened in the game, but he also explained that he's now here and he can get back. So it opens the door to a Smash Brothers universe. It leaves a small door open, even though it might not happen. But it also opens the door that we can get a Star Fox movie or a Star Fox TV show. We can get a Pikmin movie or a Pikmin TV show. And then we can start exploring other stuff down the line. Right? But if y'all wanted something with more of a story dynamic, then you got to wait for the Zelda movie to come out. You got to hope that the Zelda movie does so good that maybe a Fire Emblem movie comes out. Or maybe sometime down the line, an Earthbound movie comes out. Stuff with actual storylines. We can't really sit here and be mad that Mario didn't give us a story when Mario Brothers 1 and Mario Brothers 2 don't even have that strong of connecting stories. And then when you get to 3 and World, the stories don't connect any more differently neither. So it's like, we never really had a bunch of connecting Mario worlds. We just had a new Mario game where Bowser just came and kidnapped Princess Peach, or he just crashed out and wanted revenge. That's all we ever got. So in the movie, we kind of got that same thing. We just got a crazy bunch of things happening. I mean, come on. Y'all really gonna be mad at a movie where Yoshi ran through Brooklyn? It was just being stupid. Which brings me to my next point. There was one other thing that they were paying homage to in the history of Mario. And it was it was one thing, that a lot of people overlooked because they were so focused on how inconsistent and how underwhelming the story was that they forget that if we're paying homage to the Mario franchise, we're showing love to the first movie, we're showing love to the games, but we also are showing love to the Super Mario Brothers cartoon show, which is why Yoshi was acting the way he was acting. And the movie itself was so goofy and all over the place. The Mario Brothers cartoon show never really had the strongest story neither. They just was telling random miscellaneous adventures. That's what we kind of got in this movie. Random miscellaneous adventures. Now, did we get a Yoshi that was the same as the cartoon Yoshi? Slightly, but not fully. Donald Glover did the best that he could. Ain't mad at him for that. The casting was a lot better than I thought it would be, right? Issa Rae, I know they announced her. She had a very small, quick cameo as the Honey Queen. She didn't really have to do much. That's okay. Glenn Powell did an all right job as Star Fox. I felt he was a little like bro-y, and I just wasn't feeling that for a second. But when you think about the Star Fox crew, maybe it might be justified. Which leads me to the fact that Falco might be the same way when it's his time. Which, if we don't get Bradley Cooper, might I suggest John Berthenol or Ebon Moss Baccarat from The Bear. But that's just me. Anyway, at the same time, we were getting something where the casting was fine. The visuals was fine. The Easter eggs was fine. They had funny story moments. Like I said, Yoshi running through Brooklyn, and there was a really cool action sequence between Mario and Luigi and Yoshi versus Bowser and Bowser Jr. And we even got that Mario Maker style sequence with Mario and Princess Peach running through Bowser Jr.'s crazy maze of labyrinth of doom. Those are fun. And the fact that people walked out of that movie theater and was like, man, this story was ass. What? What were y'all watching? What was y'all expecting? If y'all walked out of there expecting it to be like, oh my gosh, man, this is Oscar worthy. Well, I got a newsflash for y'all. The first one didn't win an Oscar, nor was it nominated. Or was it, right? No. Wasn't even nominated. So at the end of the day, again, y'all, I don't know if y'all was trying to put this on the pedestal that is the Spider-Man Miles Morales movie universe, but it's not going to be that, right? Even on a K-pop Demon Hunters level, K-pop Demon Hunters story wasn't the greatest story. It was just cool for what it was. And that was also a love letter to the culture of K-pop, which Mario is a love letter to the culture of not just video games, but to the Mario universe. So I think we have to really sit and, if you need to go see the movie again, go see it again, but reevaluate it and just look at that. Look at and notice the fact that everything was all over the place for a reason, because it was just an homage to a growing movie universe of different Mario games over 40 years in the making. We had the console generation of Mario showcased. We had the handheld generation of Mario showcased. In my opinion, we had the animated series of Mario showcased. And we also paid homage to the first animated movie that allowed us to get to the second animated movie. All in all, the movie is valid. Yes, the story isn't the greatest story, and I'm okay with that. But if y'all really want to compare, and I'm not trying to throw shade, just remember what won Oscar for Best Animated Feature this past year at the Oscars. A movie that, outside of its songs, was really just about a girl who was a demon hunter who was also a demon. Where have we not seen that before? Where? We have not seen that before. Talk to me. Think about it. And again, K-pop Demon Hunters has its reasons to be good and get the award. And I'm not trying to use that and bring it down of his greatness to say that Mario deserves an award. No. But what I'm saying that to say was, if you're cool with that simple of a story, then you should have no qualms with Mario's simple story that was pretty much all over the place. That's all I'm saying. Y'all people out here online getting mad at a movie where Princess Peach went into a criminal underworld and beat the crap out of King Wart and Birdo in an underground casino. Who cares? Who cares? I had fun. This is what we come to the movies for. Why you think Nicole Kidman be spending 20 minutes trying to tell y'all what we come to the movies for? We come to the movies for this. This is what we come to the movies for. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why we at the movies. We come to the movies to laugh. I'm not even going to quote everything she said, but you know what I'm talking about. This is what we came to the movies for. I came to the movies to have a good time. I paid my money. I had a good time. I seen other people getting up like, oh, snap, bro, Game & Watch, this one. The Easter eggs, the cameos, great. The music, amazing. To hear Corneria in a movie, I never would have thought that in a million years, that I would hear Corneria in a movie. If you know, you freaking know. So please, people, go into this movie, if you haven't seen it, with a different sense of anticipation. Go into this movie understanding that if you've played, I'm not going to say just one, but if you played a lot of Mario in your life, if you've lived to see 40, if you've lived to see 30, if you've lived to see 20, even if you live to see 10, and you've played a strong amount of Mario in your life, this is your movie, right? And to an even stronger extent, I know a lot of us went and saw Sonic last year, Sonic 3, and we're going to see Sonic 4 next year. And we're like, this story is way better than Mario's story. And that's all fine, right? But that's also because Sonic has just it got better with the story over time. But at the same time, the Easter eggs was there too, but it wasn't as strong as Mario's. Mario has the better Easter eggs in their movie. Sonic just has the better story. So that's where they're just going to shine, right? So at the end of the day, that's how you got to take it. If you're a fan of the video game, when you go see the adaptation, be a fan of it. Know that the story might not be that great, but if you see the Easter eggs, acknowledge the Easter eggs. And then if the movie just sucks altogether, that's understandable. But if the Easter eggs are there and the story's okay, you gotta give it some props. Just some. All right? That's all I really wanted to say on the matter. Go see the Mario Galaxy movie. If you want to wait for streaming, your business too. But go see it, enjoy it, go with the family, go with your friends, significant other, whoever, and just let them know, like, this is what it was to enjoy Mario, and this is how far we've gotten. And again, as a fan of just adaptations, and as a optimistic person of adaptations, I love it when the adaptation is fun and the story is at the best. Just, if it's great, great. If it's not great, at least just be decent. I love that. And because of that, that's why we're here now. And we're in a world where we could argue about if it was good or bad, rather than being in a world where we just all collectively said it was bad. That is what I call change. I grew up in a world where we were like, nope, collectively, we hated the Mario Brothers movie. We hated Star Fox. I mean, not Star Fox. We hated Mario Brothers movie. We hated Final Fantasy movie. We hated Resident Evil's movies. We hated Street Fighter. We hated Mortal Kombat 2. We kind of was okay with 1, but we hated a lot of video game movies back in the day, and we weren't a lot of the fan of the TV shows neither. And to be in a world where we can finally sit down and say, man, I liked the movie. I was cool with it, and you got to fight people to say that you was cool with it. That's a beautiful feeling. And I can't wait till next month when Mortal Kombat comes out, and I hope they do the same thing. But for now, it's Mario's turn. This is one of the highest grossing movies of 2026. Go see it. Check it out for yourself. If you do go see it and you see this video, write, comment, subscribe, like, tell a friend to tell a friend that we out here doing it again. Nerds in the Hood. Check your boy Marv out. Peace out till then. You already know what it is. Wah!